With each passing year, it's harder to remember a time when Games Workshop was so averse to video game adaptations of its beloved IP. These days, it seems there's such a glut of projects, all of highly variable quality, that many indie or mid-tier adaptations fly below the radar. Warhammer 40,000, Shootas, Blood and Teef, developed and published by Rogueside, was another that arrived with minimal fanfare, and it's a mixed bag when it comes to quality. How much fun you're going to have will depend on whether you've got some reliable co-op partners on hand. The plot is perfect Warhammer 40,000 greenskin fare. You take control of a nob, serving under war boss Gutwrecker, who's leading a war against an Imperium-held hive world, Lutius Alpha, in the Armageddon sector, a familiar enough location for existing fans of the IP. The war boss decides to claim the nob's hair squig during the assault and boots them out of the dropship. After crashing down on the outskirts of a massive hive city, you set out to ascend the spire and find transport back to the war boss's ship. It's a simple but smart setup that has you pushing from scrapyards on the outskirts, through orc camps and imperial fortresses, through sewer systems and manufactoriums, to the elite residences at the top of the hive and orbiting starships. This structure also provides ample excuse to take on other orcs, the Imperial Guard, Tyranids, and even Space Marines as you butcher your way, stage by stage, towards your former war boss and beloved hair accessory. Now, Rogueside previously developed the enjoyable Guns, Gore and Cannoli games, and Warhammer 40,000, Shootas, Blood and Teef is functionally a reskin, with similar pros and cons. It's a retro-inspired 2D twin-stick run-and-gun shooter that truly shines when played with friends. You run, jump and dash around dense environments, dodging bullets and hazards, hoover up health squigs and teeth caches, all the while dealing with enemies that come at you from every angle, often bursting forth in waves from doors and hatches. As you could expect in the genre, you'll periodically face off against massive screen-filling bosses that'll test your ability to platform and aim simultaneously. It's chaotic fun with friends as the difficulty scales up, though it can get difficult to track where you are on screen at times. In contrast, playing solo is a much less intense and repetitive experience that quickly loses steam. The shooting is traditional but still enjoyable, with 5 weapon slots, the classic pistol, rifle, shotgun, explosive and special spread, that you can customize further by purchasing new variants and a few cosmetic items from the mech shop with accumulated teeth. There's no ammunition limit for your firearm, so your loadout can be tailored to suit your playstyle, preferences or enemy type. In general, you'll typically be considering projectile type and damage versus the clip size and reload speeds. A few examples include a devastating plasma pistol that recharges very slowly, an incendiary shotgun that sends lesser mobs running ablaze but is useless on tougher foes, a bolter that removes heads with ease but has a sluggish rate of fire, a guided rocket launcher that lets you fire and forget, albeit dealing reduced explosive damage, or a flamethrower that can clear a screen but also set you alight when it overheats. When you add in some basic melee attacks, squid grenades, and a few single-use heavy weapons, there's a ton of variety on offer that introduces a tactical element to co-op play, allowing players to pick a role. Unfortunately, Warhammer 40,000 Shootas, Blood and Teef has issues beyond a lackluster solo experience. Checkpoints occasionally don't work, setting you back a few minutes. Sound effects sporadically disappeared for explosive weapons. Co-op sessions frequently disconnected, and simply finding an online game, or getting someone to join my own, was challenging, at least in the Xbox ecosystem. My biggest gripe, however, was the twin-stick control scheme that, even with complete button remapping, several tweakable parameters and auto-aim, never felt as precise or natural as playing with the mouse and keyboard. Just like the Guns, Gore and Cannoli games, Warhammer 40,000 Shootas, Blood and Teef was clearly designed for PC first. On the whole, Warhammer 40,000 Shootas, Blood and Teef is an attractive game thanks to its exaggerated and stylized character models, befitting the squat and chunky tabletop figurines. The lightly animated cutscenes between stages are entertaining, thanks to writing and voice work that rely on oft-repeated lines from the prior Warhammer 40,000 games, making for an accessible experience for casual fans. Firearms and explosions sound suitably impactful, enemies explode in showers of gore or crumple to the ground with missing limbs, while the middle soundtrack, with some distinctly orcish climaxes, is perfect for chaotic gunfights and boss battles. Honestly, my biggest issue with the presentation, and one probably beholden to the setting, is an over-reliance on industrial and utilitarian grey-brown backdrops that slowly blur together. So wrapping up, my feelings about Warhammer 40,000 Shootas, Blood and Teef are mixed. During extremely rare co-op sessions, assuming I could stay connected, it played like a chaotic, loud, violent and entertaining throwback 2D shooter. However, the bulk of my playtime was solo, an experience lacking the intensity of co-op, and not helped by the fact you can only unlock the hardest difficulty after completing the campaign once. If you've played and enjoyed Rogueside's prior 2D shooters, and have a reliable set of co-op partners, Warhammer 40,000 Shootas, Blood and Teef probably won't disappoint, especially given the indie pricing. On the other hand, if you're planning on playing solo, maybe hold out for some balance and technical patches, as it's currently a bland experience that gives you far too much time to pick out the other flaws. If you've got this far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel, as it helps us grow.